We have been live on the air for hours now, making sure that you knew what was going to happen as that storm ripped through West Michigan. We're getting damage reports from Newaygo County all the way down to the Indiana border.
That's right. From 24 Hour News 8 reporters to Storm Team 8 meteorologists, we have team coverage for you tonight.
We're going to start things off in the tracking center tonight with Chief Meteorologist Bill Steffen. Bill, what's happening?
Well, right now, not much. We do have the high wind warning, which continues until 4 a.m. It's going to get real windy overnight tonight, but the tornado watch has been canceled for our area. All the severe thunderstorm and tornado warnings have now expired as well. Here's what we got going on. We still have one pretty significant but very small shower here moving up into southeastern Van Buren County. That's going to move up toward the Kalamazoo area. Another shower here near Saugatuck and more out over the lake, which are coming on in as well. We will track this for you. First of all, over toward Muskegon County, 632. The shower, which is near Saugatuck, will be south of Grand Rapids at 627, and the one down there southeastern Van Buren County up into Kalamazoo at 615. We continue to track rain off to the west of us, which will continue to move into the region. The last of this rain should be clearing the area by around 2:30 a.m., but the bulk of the more significant rain into Grand Rapids by around 11:04. So it will get windy and it will get very wet as well. I want to point out some of the storm reports that we've had here. Look at all the red indicates tornadoes. I just checked the Storm Prediction Center, 76 reports of tornadoes, none of them in Michigan. What we have had is reports of wind damage here in our area, and the wind damage has been significant. As you can see, some of the wind gusts that we've had, a marina in Grand Haven checking in with a wind gust of 78 miles an hour. That's hurricane force. A measured wind at the Battle Creek area to 70 miles an hour. We got 65 indoors, 64 South Haven, 63 in Byron Center, 61 East Grand Rapids. Lansing also a 61 mile an hour gust. Gusts at least 60 in Schoolcraft, some damage there, and 59 miles an hour at the airport in Kalamazoo. Kyle's here now with more on what's ahead the rest of this evening.
Yeah, Bill, we're talking about the strong wind threat here as we head through the rest of the evening. What we're looking at right now is a map that shows current wind speeds across West Michigan, and even though we still have a bit of a southerly component and fairly mild air out there here in West Michigan, the wind snaps quickly to the northwest and temperatures are going to fall rapidly. This is where that cold front is set up right now as it sweeps eastward here through the Great Lakes. Current wind gusts, we're seeing wind gusts in that 40 to 50 mile per hour range here across parts of northern Illinois, Indiana, southeast Wisconsin, Milwaukee last hour reporting a 43 mile per hour wind gust. So those strong winds are on the way. And with the cold front coming through, temperatures are going to take a nosedive. We're in the mid-50s right now. In fact, as I look at the tempo on the tracking center, low to mid-50s all across West Michigan. That is going to abruptly change here later on this evening. You can see temperatures falling back into the not only 40s, but also 30s here later on this evening. 42 by 4 a.m. and upper 30s here, hovering just above freezing for a good chunk of the day tomorrow. Our wind speed futurecast is showing sustained winds. Now, keep in mind, these are sustained, not even gusts. By 11 p.m. tonight, in the 40-plus mile per hour range at the lakeshore. Not quite as windy, but still ferocious winds even inland. And these are because of the big synoptic scale or broad scale storm system, not thunderstorms. We're done with severe weather for tonight. The strong low pressure system that continues to deepen, pushing through the Great Lakes right now through the day tomorrow, early tomorrow morning, stopping this at 7. You can see winds still sustained 28 to 35 miles per hour. Winds slowly tapering off tomorrow afternoon, but still a very gusty day tomorrow as well. And because of this, the National Weather Service has posted a high wind warning for all of Lake Michigan and a gale warning out over the open waters of Lake Michigan. Marley?
All right, thanks, Kyle and Bill. Our crews have been all over West Michigan today, bringing us live reports of the damage they're seeing in some of the hardest hit areas. And take a look at the map. This is exactly where our crews are fanned out tonight, from Grant down to Matawan. We do have you covered. And let's start our coverage tonight in Matawan. Storm teammates Terry DeBoer is live at the high school there right now, looking at the damage the storm left behind there. Terry?
Looking at the damage water behind there.
Well, that's right, Brian. We definitely had some significant wind damage here in Matawan throughout the entire village area. We're here with the superintendent of the Matawan Consolidated Schools, Patrick Bird. And Patrick, I know you had your crews in there assessing because you lost part of your roof.
Yeah, it appears as though we've had some roof damage on the east side of our gymnasium. We're trying to figure out right now how to seal that so that we can keep any further water from coming in. And we don't know just completely how bad it is, but bad enough where some water did get on our gymnasium floor, and so we're just trying to fix that up and assess the entire situation.
You lost a number of large trees also on the property, really, and part of the fencing around the tennis courts really indicating the magnitude of the winds here.
Yes, it really does appear like we were hit by some fairly high winds. We did lose a number of trees, fencing at the tennis court, as you said, and and you can see the winds picking up again. So we're just trying to make sure that the area is secure. We don't want any branches or anything to fall on anyone, so we're trying to secure the perimeter of the building and just assess the damage and see where we go from there.
Okay, now the million-dollar question would typically be, is there school tomorrow? However,
well, we don't have school scheduled tomorrow. It's actually a professional development day that's scheduled for this particular building. We're assessing whether or not we'll even have that at this point. The rest of the school district has parent-teacher conferences, and those buildings appear to be okay at this point. So at this point, we're probably going to go with that if the power comes back on, because the power is out in the area too. So.
yes, well, and that's a good point. We actually have been spending quite a bit of time here this afternoon in the Madison area. There's some significant damage, trees down, and even part of a roof blown off an apartment building just to the southwest of here. A number of power lines are down, some transformers are blown. So again, significant power outages in and around Van Buren County, specifically around the village of Madison. So it looks as though crews are going to have a lot of cleanup effort to do, a lot of assessing to do. Public safety, of course, a huge concern here now that a lot of folks are out and about assessing what has gone on. So we'll keep you posted on the power outage situations and, of course, on the cleanup efforts here in Madison as the next part of the storm system. Now, the significant sustained winds are already ramping up. It looks like it's going to be a long night here in Madison and certainly a long cleanup effort in the days and possibly weeks ahead. I'm Storm Team 8 meteorologist Terry DeBoer reporting live from Madison. Now back to you.
And yes, we can see those winds already picking up again. Thanks, Terry. Well, now to Kalamazoo Township. 24-Hour News 8's Joe LaFergie is live there at a mobile home park where we're learning a trailer tipped over because of all of that wind. Joe, what's going on?
Hi, Marley. Good evening. I want to tell you first, take a look at what's left of Dave Nelson's trailer. But I want to tell you first off the bat, Dave wanted everybody to know, his family who hasn't heard so far, he is okay. Dave was in that trailer. Dave Nelson lived here. But look at it now. Just take a look at the destruction. That tree fell right on the front. Now, I want to give you a walk around a little bit here, and we have to be careful. Obviously, no power lines here, but a lot of tree limbs. Dave, as you see coming out, was just beyond that door, sitting in his living room area when he was watching us all the storm coverage. He heard a loud boom, and this is what happened. I want to go to an interview we did Dave earlier and give you an idea of his sense of just how close he was to all of this.
The two windows right there is my front room, and basically that's where I was when it came down. So I was actually in a safe part of the house. The rest of this is gone.
And as you heard Dave say, he was in a safe part of the house. He knows what it's like living here. He knows what the weather's like here. He knows how to be safe. So he actually moved over to that corner. And coming up later tonight, we're going to actually take you inside the house and show you how close it is. But he knew where to go. He knew where to be. He knew where to keep safe. Again, though, a dangerous situation down here. Now, you see his home, Dave's home. And if you talk to some of the neighbors in the area here, the storm seemed to make kind of a sweep coming out of the south and heading east. So moving in more of a northeasterly direction, and it cut right through. We're seeing other damage, similar damage to this, to the north and east of us. Another point Terry made just a few minutes ago, the lights are out down here. Another concern, obviously, power lines, tree limbs that you might walk into, but the lights are out. You go down one of these roads, and we're in Kalamazoo Township, just north of the city, quite a rural area. All the street lights are out. People are out walking, checking out the damage. That is very dangerous because you can't see a thing. We really had to crawl when we came in here. If we shut our light off in the camera, you're not going to see anything because, again, all these lights are off in here. Occasionally you see a home with a generator going, but otherwise it's going to be a real dangerous night down here too. So you might want to stay off the roads if you don't have to, especially if you're a pedestrian walking. You might be better off to see the damage in the daylight. You're not going to see much tonight anyway, and you could put yourself in danger as well. So we're going to continue to monitor the situation back down here in Kalamazoo Township. Very hard hit, again, the north end of Kalamazoo, in Kalamazoo Township. Back to you.
All right, Joe, thank you. Strong winds and heavy rain didn't stop people from trying to get around today. One of our crews in Kalamazoo sent us this video earlier. You can see that despite all of the rain, a lot of people were out on the road so far tonight. There are no reports of any injuries in the Kalamazoo area. But now we want to give you a live look at the southbound 131 exit ramp at Wealthy. No one is going to be getting around that area quickly. All of the rain we saw this afternoon is causing major problems, and that ramp is completely flooded over tonight. So make sure you plan ahead if you're going out tonight.
Flooding appears to be an issue all over Grand Rapids. This is what's happening on College Avenue tonight, right down the street from our Wood TV 8 studios here in Heritage Hill. That road completely flooded out. Cars, though, still trying to pass through it as they make their way through the area tonight. 24-Hour News 8's Leon Hendricks. He has been at the live desk all afternoon, listening to the reports as they came in and updating all of us on these storms in the aftermath. Leon?
Yeah, Brian, we knew this was coming. We knew it was strong, and once it got here, it moved quickly.
It was fast, it was furious. A whopper line of storms headed our way. It started showing just how bad it was on the other side of the big lake, evacuating the Bears game in Chicago and leveling homes in this nearby suburb of Washington, Illinois.
This is a severe weather alert.
We got on the air before it hit here, and we were live as the storm went over our heads.
It's not ebbing and flowing at all. This is just coming down straight.
I don't know if you can hear it on this microphone. It is just howling.
The punch it packed here was strong, but not like what we saw elsewhere. But here it did lay claim to some property damage. It also prompted flooding and car crashes. In the end, no major injuries on our side, but plenty to clean up in the aftermath.
Okay, and back here at the live desk, when we talk about property damage, here's one of the best examples that we've seen. This is a barn in Barry County, and you can see leveled there. We have a crew headed toward that area right now. We understand that there may be a home that was damaged too in all this. You can see there's some folks in this picture surveying that damage. Our Coco McAvoy is headed there. We hope to hear from her within the hour. But again, something that moved through very quickly and packed a punch in the process. Brian, it's Marlo.
Lots of unbelievable pictures out there. Thanks, Leon. Well, to our north now, we heard a lot of reports of storm damage and even some unconfirmed possible tornado sightings in Newaygo County. Tom Hillen is live on the phone in Grant with the latest from that area. Tom?
Well, Marley, I can tell you that the homeowners where we are definitely believe that it was a tornado that moved through this area. One of the guys that lives here said he definitely saw rotation before the brunt of this storm hit where he lives. Where we are, there are multiple trees down in his yard alone. One of it is actually blocking part of his driveway. And the top of one of the pine trees on his property actually went through part of his bedroom, so there is a big hole in their bedroom tonight. Obviously, this area also dealing with no power. They're lucky enough here to have a generator keeping some of the lights on here. So something to keep in mind if you know people without power. Could be a while before they have it back on. A lot of people may be going without heat tonight as the temperatures continue to drop. I can tell you it's starting to feel a lot colder out here. We have been in contact with the emergency manager here in Newaygo County, and they say that the surveyed damage that they have seen does not indicate a tornado in this area. But again, lots of trees down, lots of power lines down in this area. I want to reiterate a point that Joe LaFergie was making. Make sure if you do have to head out, that you are being very cautious, especially in these rural areas. I know it's been several hours since these storms have moved through, but that doesn't mean that every single road in this area has been traveled, so there is the potential that trees are still down across roads here in rural areas, and so you may be coming across some of those. You want to make sure to be very cautious, be vigilant, and watching for those power lines that are also down. So right now we have moved into the cleanup process. We are hearing generators and chainsaws in this area as people begin to cut up some of the trees that are blocking different areas. But the good news here, nobody was injured. The people that live in this house actually went into their basement because they could hear the storm getting much worse. So they went into their basement. They said they went there just in time because then they started hearing all the trees coming down and just those high winds hitting their home. Again, luckily, though, they say no one hurt at this house, but still a lot of damage and a lot of work to be done to get this area cleaned up, guys.
All right, 24 Hour News 8's Tom Hillen over the phone. And Grant, thank you so much for that, Tom. We are keeping a close eye on the Consumers Energy website tonight as well. So we want to take a look at some of the outage numbers in those hard-hit areas. More than 11,000 people are in the dark in Kalamazoo County tonight. In Kent County, nearly 9,500 don't have power, and 3,300 are without power in Allegan County. We'll keep an eye on these numbers and let you know what's happening both on air and online.
A tornado was caught on tape in Diamond, Illinois, near Coal City. The twister was part of the deadly system that roared through the land of Lincoln today. An elderly man and his sister died in their farmhouse in the town of Minden. Look at the size of that tornado. There is extensive damage in several central Illinois communities.
That is just unbelievable to watch. Well, we are going to continue to track all of this damage for you tonight. We'll keep you posted online at woodtv.com and on air all night on 24 Hour News 8 at 10 on WXSP and after the game on Wood TV 8.